In this video, we shall be talking about the way of creating quadratic equation from a real-world problem. If you are watching this video for the first time, you can check through the playlist. You will see what we have discussed under quadratic equation. We've been able to demystify how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method, completing the square method, quadratic formula, and there is a new formula. I don't know whether you are aware of that. There's a new formula for quadratic equation which you can use to solve quadratic equation. We call it new quadratic formula. So you can check through the playlist and you will find it interesting. So in this video, we shall be talking about what problem leading to quadratic equation. So in a nutshell, at the end of this lesson, learners should be able to formulate quadratic equation from a real-world problem. So I'm Abdullah Okoyemi Falade. So I'm the mathematics instructor for this video that will be taking you through the process of creating real-world problem leading to quadratic equation. So in one of our video on what problem leading to simultaneous equation, we've explained this, that in modeling, a word problem is a real-world situation where significant information on the problem is expressed in ordinary language rather than in mathematical symbols and notations. So in everyday life, we encounter challenges. So ability to be able to interpret this into a way that will make it easier for you to be able to solve. And that's what problem is all about. So when you have a real-world situation that has significant information on the problems and you are trying to and it is being expressed in ordinary language rather than in a mathematical symbols, so that is what word problem is all about. So what we are now trying to look at is how can we now express this word problem into a mathematical equations, solve the equation and provide solution to the problem. So we reverse it back, make a meaningful interpretation of our result. So for this video, we shall be talking about what are the way to create mathematical equation, especially quadratic equation, from word problem in order to ease the process of providing solutions to the problem. So the steps involved in doing that is: one, you read the narration and define the problem. So you have to read the narration very well and you should define the problem. What are we trying to solve? What do we need to do? So the second thing is you underline the keywords and the key parameters. And from that, you can represent the unknowns with a decision variable. The unknowns there has to be represented with a variable which is meant to be a decision variable. And after that, you analyze each of the sentences in the narration. And after your analysis, you can now solve. You can write the complete formulation and solve, validate and evaluate your solutions. And once you can evaluate your solution, it will make life easier for you and it will be interesting. So if you're watching this video for the first time, do not forget to press the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can have a ability and you can have the opportunity to watch other videos in this channel. So press like, share and comment at your convenience. So example 1, the length of a rectangle is 5 cm more than its width and the area is 50 cm square. Find the length, width and the perimeter. So how do you go about this? So the first thing, like you said in the steps, so after we have been able to read through this narration, we observe that the problem is simultaneous quadratic in nature. So it involves length and breadth, and we need to do two things. We need to look at how the length is more than the breadth and the area. So it is simultaneous quadratic in nature. So we have underlined the keywords, the key parameters and the key terms in the narration. So we represent the length with L and we represent the width with W. So we cannot analyze the sentence one after the other. So in the first sentence, the length of a rectangle is 5 cm more than its width. So it means whatever be the measurement of our width, you add 5 to it to give you the length as required. So once again, do not forget to press the subscribe button, press the notification bell also to get info whenever the next video is being uploaded. Thank you. So in continuation with that question, you can now see that from the first sentence we express that our length will be whatever be the measurement of width plus 5, because it is 5 centimeters more than the width, and at the same time the area, which is the length times width, sometimes it is called length times breadth, will give us 50. So, and by the time you do this, you have a complete formulation of two equations which is simultaneous quadratic in nature. And when you substitute L is equals to W plus 5 into equation 2, you have a quadratic equation. And when you solve using either of the methods that has been discussed in the previous video, you can check through the playlist. So you will get that the width is 5 centimeters or minus 10 centimeters. But is it possible for us to have a dimension of negative value? No. So since the dimension cannot be negative, so we consider the positive, which is 5 centimeters. And by the time you substitute L is equals to 10 centimeters into this place, you can have your length to be 10 centimeters, which is 5 plus 5. Okay, so that's how we solve the problem. As simple as that. As simple as that. So the main thing is ability to form these equations. So once you're able to form the equation, it will be easy for you to solve using any convenient method. Okay, so let's look at another question. This time around we are talking about when a 2-digit number is divided by the product of the 2 digits. The answer is 2. If 27 is added to the number, the original turns into a new number with the digits being swapped around. Find the number. So how do we go about this? Let's go. So if you look at the narration, if you read through, you observe that this is also simultaneous quadratic in nature. So and by the time you try to underline the keywords, you can now tell us what is that number itself. Since it's a 2-digit number, we've learned this in our elementary mathematics. A 2-digit number, we have the units and the tens in terms of place value. So, and the unit is represented with y, and the tens part is represented with what? 10x. So that's why it is 10x plus y. So the number, the 2-digit number, will be formed with 10x plus y. So let's now interpret each sentence. Let's analyze each of the sentences. So we have been given that when you divide the number by the product of the digits, you have 2. So the number is 10x plus y. When you divide it by the product of the digits, don't forget the unit digit is y and the tens digit is x. But in writing a complete number will be 10x plus y. So when you divide it by the product x times y, we have divided by xy equals 2. And by the time you cross multiply, you have 10x plus y equals 2xy. So going to the second equation as well, it is given that when the number itself 10x plus y, when 27 is added to the number, this number will swap digits, meaning that y becomes here, x becomes here, and that's why we have 10x plus y plus 27 is equals to 10y plus x. So that's what the second sentence has explained. And when you try to collect the like terms, you have 9x minus 9y equals to minus 27. And in the complete form, we have 10x plus y equals to 2xy, 9x minus 9y equals to minus 27. So, seeing this equation now, you can solve. And by the time you solve, you will get in to have a quadratic equation with unknown variable y. And by the time you solve this using any convenient method, you will get y to be 6 or 5 over 6. And when you solve this further, you will notice that x will be 6 when x will be 3 when y is 6, and x will be minus 1 over 2 when y is 5 over 2. And we have already discussed this in the previous example. We don't have interest in any negative dimension, So in a nutshell, we prioritize 3,6, x equals 3, y equals 6. And by the time you substitute into the number, don't forget the number is 10x plus y. So by the time you substitute, you have 10 times 3 plus 6, which is equals to 36. I hope this is interesting. Yes, this is interesting. So at your own leisure time, you do this on your own. There are 3 numbers. The number of the differences of them is 5. The sum and product are 44 and 1,950 respectively. Find the numbers. Find the 2 numbers whose sum is 19 and the product of the difference and the greater is 60. So a boy was asked his age. If you had a square root of it to half of it and then subtract 12, the answer will be nothing, which is 0. Okay, so reply the boy, what was his age? So you can say the fourth question. A group of army cadets consisting of 1,066 men form 2 squares in front of a garrison. In the side of one square there are 4 more men than the other. How many men are in each side of the square? So you can see the kind of question that when you practice with, it will, boost your intelligence. It will boost your confidence in creating a word problem leading to simultaneous quadratic, which is also, from there you have a quadratic equation. So, and we can also have another one. The height of a triangle is 4 centimeters less than the 3 times its base length. If the area is 80 centimeters square, find the length of the base and the height. And lastly, we have an isosceles triangle is described in a circle in such a way that its length side, its longest side, which goes through the center, is 40 square root of 40 centimeters. Find the area of the triangle. So these are questions you can practice on your own, and you can drop your answer at the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye for now.